Hey, welcome Broken World Entertainment. And after the shocking news that DC have let go of Henry Cavill as Superman, bigger questions have to be asked, which is, what's the point now for the next 4 movies? These 4 movies, from day one, had an uphill battle. They truly did. But now they're just dead in the water. James Gunn has essentially told us, the audience, the fans, the paying customer, that there's absolutely zero point in you going to see these movies. And that's the problem. They really have just done that. It's so bizarre. Now, I understand that they can't wait another year to announce, hey, we're cleaning the slate, we're moving on, we're going to do our own thing. That's obvious. But the fact that you've basically told your audience, not just are we doing the new slate, but these 4 movies coming are now pointless. Those movies, of course, are The Flash, Aquaman 2, The Lost Kingdom, Blue Beetle, and Shazam 2, Fury of the Gods. Why are they now pointless? Well, because they're in that universe. They're all in the same universe. They're all connected. And of course, Superman himself was meant to appear in at least The Flash, possibly Shazam. So why did they have an uphill battle in the first place? Well, it's pretty obvious with The Flash. Ezra Miller and his absolute tirade of terror in Hawaii. And not just Hawaii. Apparently he was nuts in Germany and Finland. Is it Finland or was it Norway? It was one of them. I wouldn't be surprised if it was both of them. But of course, we know he's charged. He is officially charged with breaking an entry, robbing bottles of wine. He denies that, even though he's on camera. He sees the camera in one of the videos. He notices the camera, goes, oh, and puts a bottle back down and leaves. It's like, that's you on camera, dipshit. And then, of course, you have all the assaults against women, the alleged grooming, the basically kidnapping of the family, the mother and the 2 kids, the kids being on his ranch, surrounded by live ammunition and weapons, and just mind-blowing shit. And people were constantly saying, you can't promote this movie, and why should we give our money to support this lunatic? It was absolutely, and especially when Warner Brothers kept him for Fantastic Beasts 3, whatever the third one is called. What was it? The Secrets of Dumbledore? Was that the third one? They kept him on with actual video of him choking a pregnant woman and putting her to the ground. Actual video, and they're like, no, we'll support him. But they fired Johnny Depp for an allegation in a fucking newspaper. Crazy. So that had that uphill battle. And speaking of JD, that brings us to Aquaman 2, because the problem with that movie is a one Amber Turd, also known professionally as Amber Heard. Excuse me. As soon as that trial happened, she lost spectacularly as well. JD wins. Every single person said the same thing. There's no way you can keep her on board. And how could you have got rid of JD so quickly? But holy hell, you're holding her hand in support. When the trial happens, she gets exposed. She loses. And what does Warner Brother do? They double down and keep her. And not just them, but a one Peter Safran. That's right, the co-CEO of DC. He backed her. He's the one, by the way, who turned around and said, we won't bow to fan pressure. That's him. And of course, people have all said, well then, you're not getting our money. They've just done a new test screening of the movie, which, by the way, the movie is testing worse than Batgirl. But they've pumped so much money into it for reshoots. And they're doing more extensive reshoots. The budget for this thing must be close to 400 million at this stage, with the amount of reshoots they're doing. But even with reshoots, they put it in front of audiences, and what do every audience walk away saying? She's still in it. They have not removed her. And now it's come out that not just is she still in it, granted for about 3 minutes or so, they've noted that the character of Mira is essential to the Aquaman 2 story. Doesn't mean you can't just replace her. You've got a year. This doesn't come out until December of next year. But it sounds like they're still backing her. So that movie was already in trouble. Blue Beetle is the next one on the slate. And the problem with Blue Beetle is no one knows who the fuck Blue Beetle is. People are seeing images, they're like, the hell is that? Is this the next Marvel project? And they're like, no, this is DC. Oh, okay. Who's playing him? That guy. Who the hell is he? Don't know. No one knows what the hell Blue Beetle is. So what is there to incite people to go and see it? Excuse me. Seriously, there's nothing. There's no big name in the suit for it. And no one knows what it is. And most people who do know who it is don't care. Ironically, that had a test screen, even though it's absolutely nowhere near finished and all the effects weren't in it or even close to effects. The reports are it's actually not as bad as you would think, but it's very, very much targeted for kids. So there's your next problem. Who wants to go and watch it if it's just going to be super bright and cheerful and kid friendly? It's not what DC is. And then, of course, Shazam, Fury of the Gods. People, for the most part, enjoyed the first Shazam. But then the trailer for this one dropped and people just looked at it and went, it just looks generic. It looks meh. A lot of people were saying the jokes don't matter. The director has already had to come out and defend one of the jokes in it, which was the throwing of the truck. So that's not a great start to your promotion for a movie if you're already having to defend what was in the trailer. And of course, a lot of people are looking at Helen Mirren in the trailer and saying she just looks out of place, or she looks terrible, or and all this stuff, and they didn't like the interaction between her and Shazam. And so that had, just from that one trailer, an uphill battle. Now you tell people the universe that's in is being completely redone. It's getting reshaped. All these people are getting taken out. Superman is taken out. It's going nowhere. There won't be a sequel to The Flash. There won't be a sequel to this Aquaman, the third movie. There won't be a sequel to Blue Beetle. And there won't be a Shazam 3. That's what they've just told you. They've told you this universe is gone. That's it. Like, the slate has been wiped clean. So you have to ask yourself, so what's the point in seeing these movies then? Why should we go, hand our money across, to sit down in a theatre to watch a movie that, whatever way it ends, is pointless? Especially The Flash, with all their Flashpoint and all, it's going to bring in this character and it's going to change this and it's going to blah blah blah. But you've just told us that the entire slate is getting wiped. You're starting from scratch. Therefore, what's the problem? Why would we go and see it? Makes absolutely zero sense. And that's all because they've just went, we don't want Cavill. It's insane. And of course, now that Cavill is gone, those movies are in even bigger trouble because people are going, oh, well, I'm not supporting it if you just got rid of him. It's just happened to Netflix. It's going to be a painful lesson for them. Absolutely painful lesson. Particularly for their pockets. Anyway, with that, I'll leave it here for this one. Cheers, and I'll catch you in the next one.